What's up, Honor? So 2025 has honestly been the best year so far for Halloween animatronics. There's just been so much cool stuff this year, from new technologies to new characters we've never seen before. And this year we've probably seen the most animatronics we've ever seen, with well over 100 different ones across so many different stores. So that's why for today I looked at every single new animatronic for 2025 to figure out what the best were, to come up with this list of 10 of the greatest animatronics of 2025. So anyways, with that said, let's of course get right into checking out the top 10 Halloween animatronics of 2025. And kicking it off at number 10, we've got the only Spirit Halloween animatronic to make it on this year's list. That animatronic, of course, being Backbend Bonnie. Which Backbend Bonnie here, I've honestly got to say, she is such a cool animatronic, of course. I love the animation she has where she bends her back backwards. It's somewhat of a unique animation. We have seen it done before with the Backbend girl, but we haven't really seen it done since then. So overall, a really cool animation. And then detail-wise, such a cool animatronic. Of course, the dress on it looks great, and then that face they gave it just looks so creepy, and honestly one of the best head molds I've seen Techie do. And then some good animation too in this prop that really does fit it well. And overall, another thing that really makes me like this animatronic is the sort of older vibe of it. It definitely feels like something that Techie would have made back in the day, like early 2010s. So overall, it's really cool to see something like this on the market now. So overall, Backbend Bonnie, a great animatronic coming from Spirit Halloween, of course, retailing for $180 USD and $220 CAD, and made by Techie Design, and overall a great one to have here at number 10. And moving on to number 9, we've got a never before seen animatronic, that of course being Gallicrow from Home Depot, which is one of the first ever 15-foot animatronics. Which, wow, it is insane to see 15-foot animatronics. Now, it's only about 5 years ago we saw the 12-foot animatronics introduced, so to see 15-foot ones is just insane now. And honestly, I've got to say, Gallicrow is definitely the better of the two 15-footers from Home Depot this year. They're both really good, but I just prefer Gallicrow a little bit more, specifically just for the design of him. I really like it a whole lot more than just a typical scarecrow. Get this massive crow-like character, which we've never seen much before, is just so creepy, so new, and I just love it. And I love the design of this thing. It's a little bit different from some of the other 12-footers we got, because instead of it being like the character with the two legs and everything, instead it's basically just like a big pole that goes up sort of for the sky, which is an interesting design, and I do really love how it looks. I like it too how it has just those big arms sticking out from each side. It's about like 12 feet wide, so not only is it really tall, but it's also really wide. And then of course the head looks great on it, the lighting does, and of course that head animation where I believe it uses servos is also really cool. It just looks around a lot of different directions. So honestly, one of the best oversized animatronics of all time. And this guy's of course Gallicrow, coming from Home Depot, retailing for $400 USD, $500 CAD, and of course made by SVI, and overall a great one to have here at number 9. And moving on to number 8, we've got an animatronic from Lowe's, that guy of course being the Keeper of Time. And honestly, this guy right here, a really cool character. It's sort of unlike anything we've ever seen before. I'm not exactly sure like what type of guy he's supposed to be, but it definitely seems like an old-timey guy, and overall he's really cool. Of course, holds the pocket watch in the one hand, which lights up green, and then yeah, that cool look of him, which is unlike much we've seen before. And then the really cool thing about this guy is definitely that animation where he just jumps up. It's so fast, so scary, and definitely one of the best jump scares of the year. And then I've also got to say the audio on this guy sounds pretty good. So overall, this guy right here, a really cool one, and certainly a really unique one. He of course is known as the Keeper of Time, coming from Lowe's, and of course is retailing for $300 US, which is around $420 Canadian, and of course made by Techie Design, and overall an awesome one to have here at number 8. And carrying on to number 7, we've got another Lowe's animatronic to make the list. That animatronic of course being the Balloon Dog Clown, which I'm gonna say that the Balloon Dog Clown may be one of the best clown animatronics of all time. One of the biggest things about this guy that I really love is that animation. He's got that animation where he lunges towards you, which is really creepy. And of course that mouth animation, but also on the Balloon Dog, it has that cool animation where the mouth opens to reveal these pointy squinty looking teeth and everything. So overall, tons of sick animation on this. I love it. And then design wise on this, I think it does look pretty good. They did sort of copy the vibe of Peekaboo Clown from Spirit Halloween a little bit with the colors there and the polka dots and everything, but still the colors and costume and everything on it look great. So overall, definitely an animatronic that I would have picked up if we had Lowe's here in Canada. But anyways, that animatronic right there is of course known as the Balloon Dog Clown, coming from Lowe's. Of course, retailing for $300 USD, which is around $420 Canadian, and of course made by Techie Design, and overall definitely one of the best clowns of all time. And carrying on to number 6, we've surprisingly got another clown making the list. That guy of course being the Ice Cream Clown. And honestly, for this guy right here, I'll say he's also one of the best clown animatronics we've ever seen. I love a bunch of stuff about this guy. Of course, the animation is pretty good. It's just two different things, of course, the jaw moves and the eye on the ice cream moves, but those are some pretty good animations. But really the coolest thing I love about this is the design of it. It's just so unique and just not like the typical generic clowns we always get. Of course, one of the things I like is that ice cream cone on top of his head, which is just melting all over him. That looks awesome. Then his clothing, he has all these just like ice cream details like on the pants, the shirt, and even the shoe. They painted on the ice cream detail, which is awesome. Then of course, I love how the ice cream cone there in the one hand, how it looks with that eyeball on top and everything. Overall, they just did such an amazing job with the design of this, and I really hope in the future they make more clowns like this and not the typical generic ones. So overall, the Ice Cream Clown here, another animatronic that I definitely would have picked up if shipping and stuff was cheaper here in Canada. But anyways, that guy of course is the Ice Cream Clown, coming from Haunted Hill Farm. Of course, retailing for $350 USD, which is around $490 Canadian, and of course made by Techie Design, and overall such cool to have at number 6. And moving on to number 5, we have of course got Ripsaw, which Ripsaw right here, honestly such a cool one. Of course, one of the main things I love about this guy is just how he looks. It's really cool. The clothing on him is really awesome. He's sort of like this butcher shop looking guy, which is really creepy. He's got those hooks of course hanging down from him. He's got this like robe on. Of course, he has this like big saw he's holding right there. It's so creepy, and the gas mask on, everything. Overall, such a cool look on him. Then of course the animation on him is really cool too. Of course, I love that side to side animation, then how the saw blade actually spins. Overall, that is awesome. And then of course those lights in the goggles are cool too, and some good audio on this guy. So overall, a really cool animatronic. Happy to have him on the list. And this guy's of course Ripsaw, coming from HalloweenCostumes.com, retailing for $350 USD or $491 Canadian, and is of course made by Techie Design, and overall such cool to have here at number 5. And carrying on to number 4, we've got one of 2 licensed animatronics to make it onto the list. This guy is of course Spikey, which I am a really big fan of the Killer Clowns movies, and overall this guy right here is definitely one of the best Killer Clowns animatronics we've ever seen. I may even say it's better than the ones we of course got from Spirit. Of course, with this guy right here, there's a few cool things about him. Of course, the design of him looks great. That head sculpt up there, they did such a good job on it. Looks great. Of course, the costume and everything looks great, and then those hand molds look awesome too. And I love the addition of that balloon dog. God, this guy's walking. That is really nice too. And yeah, some nice animation on this guy too. I like how his one arm there moves, sort of like pull the dog back to make a move. That is sick. So overall, Spikey right here, a really awesome animatronic. Of course, coming from HalloweenCostumes.com, retailing for $400 USD and $561 Canadian, and of course coming from Techie Design. And overall, he is such an awesome one, and definitely one I'd really love to get. And carrying on now to number 3, we've got a Home Depot animatronic. That guy, of course, being the Raven, which the Raven, honestly, one of the best ones from Home Depot this year. There's a few reasons why I really love this animatronic. First of all, this guy is a massive one, like almost 7 feet tall, which is really cool. I, of course, love the look and everything on this guy. The crow head is pretty cool. Then that clothing he's got on is cool. I like that little like feather detail on the hood and everything. It's awesome. Then the staff he's holding looks really cool, like the light up feature on there and that animation where he sort of shoves it out towards you. Then of course he's also got some other good animation like with the beak and the head. Overall, just so much cool details and features packed into this guy. And he is pretty much a reskin of the Plague Doctor guy we saw last year. So honestly, for this guy too, I'm definitely gotta say he's one of the best reskins we got of all time, because yeah, honestly, they did a really good job reusing some of the features from the Plague Doctor on this guy. So overall, an awesome animatronic, of course, known as the Raven, coming from Home Depot, of course, retailing for $200 USD, 200 CAD, and of course, being made by Pack, and honestly, such a cool one to have here at number 3. And carrying on now to number 2, we've got animatronic, which may be a little bit unexpected, but this guy is, of course, Adam from Beetlejuice, which if you were to ask me what my favorite Halloween movie of all time is, honestly, Beetlejuice is one that I may have to consider consider for the best, because overall, I'm just such a huge fan of that movie, and it's always disappointing how in the past we only ever got Beetlejuice animatronics. Like, we got that one that spun its head, or Spirit Halloween gave us that other version. I think there was some other different ones in the past, but we never got any of the other characters. So to see Halloween costumes this year make some other characters from the movie was really cool. And Adam here definitely stuck out to me as one that I really loved this year. Of course, for a few different reasons. One, of course, being that it's a different animatronic than just Beetlejuice from the movie, which I do appreciate. But then also, I love how this guy looked. They did such a good job on him, and I like the animation with the fingers right there. That's kind of unique and unlike anything we've seen before. So overall, I'm a huge fan of this animatronic. So overall, one of my favorite animatronics of all time, and definitely one of the best licensed ones we've ever seen. So I'm really happy to put it here at number 2 on the list. But anyways, this guy right here is, of course, Adam, coming from HalloweenCostumes.com, retailing for $350 USD or $491 Canadian, and of course made by Jimmy, and overall, he is such a cool one. And now to end it off at number 1 with an animatronic that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna agree with me on this, that's the best of the year. This guy, of course, being the Skelly from Home Depot. Now, for this guy, there's so much cool stuff about him. Of course, the first thing is design-wise, you know, it's nothing too crazy. It's just a simple skeleton, but I do like some of the stuff they have done. Like, of course, he's all outer ray, which is really cool. He's got all his outer ray connections and everything. Then, of course, I like some of the other details they added, like those LCD eyes. They, of course, added the posable arms and fingers. So overall, design-wise, tons of cool stuff on this. But then when this guy gets cooler is with just all the different app features he has, which let me just list off everything that he has. Of course, in the one mode where, of course, you can pre-program stuff into him, you can record your own voice lines for him, which is really cool. You, of course, can record up to 30-second voice lines, so you can record a ton of stuff with this guy. Then, of course, you can control the movement on this guy, so you can select if it'll have the head animation, arm animation, body animation, or all three. Then, of course, you can control the lights in both his jaw there and his chest. You can make them strobe, pulse, or just be constant on. You can make them any color you want. Then, of course, in his eyes right there, he's got 18 different eyes you can program into him. So overall, so many cool features from the app, and that's only half of it, because you can also play him through live mode, which I haven't tested yet. I'm still a bit scared because I did hear that it was frying on a few people's when they did use a live mode, but still, it sounds like a really cool concept where pretty much you can talk through your phone through the sky, which is really cool. So honestly, for this guy, he's almost there to be one of the most perfect animatronics of all time. My only issue with him is that arm motor he has is a little bit loud, which can be a bit annoying, but other than that, I love all the features on this guy. He looks cool. And of course, with him being a skeleton, you can put any costume on this, so you can customize it to be whatever character you want, especially with customizing the voice. Like, you could even dress this guy up as a character from your favorite Halloween movie that there's never been an animatronic on. So overall, he is the ultimate animatronic, the best of 2025, and honestly, he may be the best animatronic in retail of all time. So overall, Skelly, such cool, and I'm really happy I picked him up. And he, of course, coming from Home Depot, retailing for $280 USD, $350 CAD, and is made by SVI. And overall, such cool, and if you haven't got him yet, he's definitely one I would recommend. He is so cool. And anyways, with all that said, that's gonna finish it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoy. Right there was, of course, the top 10 best animatronics of 2025, in my opinion, which I'd love to see if any of you agree with me on this top 10, or if you disagree, definitely tell me down below your top 10 for 2025. I'd love to hear your opinion. But anyways, that's it. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.